And the main Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has placed former Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki on its watch list as it investigates transactions including contracts awarded during his 8-year tenure. Obaseki, who left office in November 12th, had previously claimed
they say Obaseki don't put Edo State for debt. Obaseki don't put Edo State for debt. Obaseki, you borrow money, but nothing Obaseki do for the state. He also renovate some buildings and leave the state like that. Even the road where even say manage to, no one even good. Now go hear for this man as he tell it talk. Obaseki, in fact, he destroyed Edo State. He destroyed Edo State. When are you listening? High. See Edo State debt profile don't high under Obaseki. And we can't see any infrastructure where use the money to do. About Obaseki. EFCC, they wait for Obaseki. I say EFCC, they wait for Obaseki. Say, Obaseki must be arrested. They must arrest Obaseki, must be arrested. Because I never see where a whole governor, where he call himself EDG of a state. Obaseki is a Benin man. Obaseki rule Edo State as a Benin man. Imagine. When I watch this video, when I see Obaseki take mess up Edo State, which about Obase is aware of it. About Obase don't tell me say don't get share for under Obaseki. You not tell me say don't get share. About Obase is aware of this mess. Obaseki mess Edo State. Nobody agree talk. You see, most of them, they don't agree talk about them. They don't want to talk, and they know the truth very well. Obaseki is the worst Edo State governor Edo State ever produced in the history of creating or producing governor in that state. Obaseki is the worst. When I watch, I don't want to talk too much. When I listen.
The debt profile of Edo State in 2016 or so, when that came forth, Edo State's debt profile was just within the range of 84 billion naira. But we're here, as of today, according to the Edo State Asset Verification Committee, that has risen by over 900% to 668 billion naira, and that has been a major talking point. Let me get a start off on that with Dr. Gavin. This is one, issue that has been in the political space in the last couple of days. What are your thoughts and your perspectives?
Thank you very much. If you can recall, in several political fora, I agitated and cried out the manner in which Edo State money will be siphoned through consultancy. Several fora. I made the argument, but people didn't want to listen. Rather, they argued that the profile was emanating from the past government of Oshomole. But luckily now, it has been made public that during the Oshomole government, Edo State were just indebted to about 84 billion. But today we can't, it's a different ballgame. We stated it. But the import of this is that the governor actually deployed consultancy to siphon the state resources.
When you say siphon, that's an allegation. You're a lawyer. I'm sure you should be a bit more choosing your words.
Let me make it clear. Yeah. It's not an issue of just making allegations. The report has revealed that Edo is indebted to such 600 and something billion naira. The question is that when you look at the indebtedness vis-a-vis the development of the state, you have no conclusion that this money was siphoned. I have argued here, I am from Edo North. I consider that there are some few development in Edo South. There's no doubt about it. In terms of buildings and all of that. I have not debated that. There are few development. But you can't say that in Edo Central. You can't say any development in Edo Central. You can't say so in Edo North. Now the question is that these billions that were spent by government in terms of projects, where are the projects across the three central districts of the state? So you cannot gather them the conclusion that it was siphoned. It was siphoned. Now if you look at even the few roads they did in Edo South, they have washed away as I speak to you. There's no road now that was constructed by the Obaseki-led administration that is passable. The rains have not set in. He attempted to even do a road for us from Sobe to Sabogidaura. The road is bad already. We have continued to agitate. Even the House of Assembly, sir. The House of Assembly, the Speaker is from Sabo Ohumura. They mentioned it in the House of Assembly, where they called the contractor to go back to site. It's not something that I'm just saying. It has been validated even by the House of Assembly during their oversight function. Even when the road is barricaded, that articulated vehicles, that is trucks and all of that, cannot pass through it, it's already wearing away. So the issue is that these contracts were just awarded without supervision. You cannot tell me that there is any government awarded project that was supervised by Obaseki. There was none, where he went to another sports assessment to determine the quality of the work, but they were just awarded to chronics. If you award contract to chronics for the purpose of filling their purse, it's siphoning.
Okay. All right.
In the meantime, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has placed former Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki on its watch list as it investigates transactions including contracts awarded during his 8-year tenure. Obaseki, who left office in November 12, had previously claimed that the EFCC intended to arrest him after his tenure. Now, this development follows the establishment of a 14-member state asset verification committee by his successor, Governor Monday Okpewolo, to scrutinize his government. Earlier, on November 2nd, the EFCC arrested 5 officials from Obaseki's government, including the Accountant General, Julius Anelu, over alleged massive withdrawals from the state treasury within a short time frame. Despite these developments, Obaseki has maintained his willingness to cooperate with the EFCC, saying he's not afraid of a probe and was ready to account for his stewardship. And to talk about this, we're joined by the former Commissioner for Digital Economy, Science and Technology in Edo State, and that's Ogbeide Ifaluyi Isibo. Good afternoon, glad to have you join me on the news.
Good afternoon, it's a pleasure to be here.
All right, let me kick off by asking what your thoughts are on the EFCC decision to place former governor, of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, on watch list.
Well, it's a developing story, and we haven't heard officially from the spokesman to the governor, but this is not something that is uncommon with the political terrain that we find ourselves, where the EFCC, quote and unquote, seems to become a tool. But however, Governor Godwin Obaseki has always maintained that he ran a very transparent government, and he's open to any form of interrogation or probe by the new administration or by the EFCC. He is not in hiding. He is available for questioning. And so if the EFCC is placing him on a watch list, to me that is more of the political language and actually wanting to find out more about his accountability or transparency while in office. We ran a very accountable and transparent government. We were acknowledged, by various stakeholders as one of the most transparent governments in the history of our country. And all our books are open for public scrutiny. We became completely digital. We became a paperless government. That means all procurement processes for all contracts, all approvals are given, are all done on digital platforms, and they exist. So there's nothing that is being hidden from anybody, even from the public. So today, even if you want to see all memos, that Governor Obaseki signed while he was in government, they're all available on our ERP platform. That's the purpose of going digital. It makes your government transparent, it makes it accountable, makes it efficient, and makes it effective. We were able to archive over 70 million records, in governments. That's from 1999 until date. And so all the information available for a probe or for investigation are available for the people to see. So I don't think former Governor Obaseki is bothered about the information about being on the watch list. He's said it time and time again that he's open to public scrutiny, and that is what it should be.
Now, as a former commissioner yourself, how do you see what do you make of this in terms of EFCC's investigation into contract and of course awards, during Obaseki's administration? What does it really mean for you, being a former commissioner?
I honestly think that when we serve public office, we serve with the notion that the public is interested in what we do. We serve with the thought that after we finish our service, our records or our dealings are exposed to public scrutiny. I have no trouble with that at all. I think that is what should be after anybody leaves office. It helps accountability, it helps transparency. So as one who served in the last administration, I think it's not what anybody should worry about, especially when you know that your hands are clean, when you know that you led a very transparent and accountable government, when you know that even public opinion suggests that the Obaseki government was a very prudent one, was one that abhorred waste, and we saw it in every facet of government. This was the first and only government in the history of Nigeria where members of the state ESCO did not have official cars. You know, most of my colleagues in other states had convoys while they were moving around, but in Edo, no commissioner serving under Godwin Obaseki had an official car. Instead, we had a fleet management agency such that whenever we had official assignments alone, we had vehicles allocated for that assignment. And when it is done, the car goes back to the pool. You know, so this was done to reduce government waste. And instead of spending scarce resources, servicing a few political office holders, we were deploying this money for the service of the people to provide public utility. And that's what our government was known for. You know, so it is not a problem to me or to anyone that served in Godwin's government. You know, if the EFCC or the present government is trying to find out what you did, the books are open. We had an asset management register that housed all the assets the Edo states had at the time we served. You know, all the contracts that were awarded, the procurement process was all electronic. It is all on digital platforms, so it's visible or accessible to anybody, not just the EFCC or the present government. Anybody who wants to find out what happened under Governor Obaseki's government can easily have access to those documents on the internet.
Now, there are concerns that this probe by the EFCC could be stemming from personal vendetta, or do you think it's justifiable looking at these coming from Monday Okpewolo, who is now the governor of the state? What do you make of those concerns?
Well, every concern stems from an assumption or some facts. And I wouldn't want to, put aside how anybody feels about it. But be that as it may, it is obvious today that the EFCC's start to say has become like a political tool. I remember in 2016, when Governor Adams Oshomole left office, there were several papers that were written, several queries, several letters to the EFCC, publishing documents, publishing information on financial misappropriation as perpetrated by that government. But because he appeared to be serving or to have served, a party that was at the center, nothing was done. We reached out to the EFCC on several occasions to come and investigate Adams Oshomole, but nothing ever happened. And if you check it, so most of the governors who get to be troubled with the EFCC are governors who don't belong to the same political party or have an axe to grind with those in government. So it doesn't appear to be a very fair, commission that really wants to check financial misappropriation. But that is not the meat of this argument. For me, I think that the Obaseki administration is open for criticism or open to investigation by the EFCC or the IPC or any other agency that wants to come check our books, because we are very sure and we're matter of fact that we ran a very transparent government.
All right, thank you so much for your perspective on the news. Ogbeide Ifaloye Isibo, who is the former commissioner for digital economy, science and technology in Edo State. Many thanks.